You are listening to chartingwealth.com for Wednesday, the 4th of April, 2018. We see the markets up for the day. That is the stock market. We see TLT, the bond market, down. And we see gold down also. Let's jump right into these charts. First, we see the S&P 500 up for the day 1.28%. Now, when we look at our weekly candle, only the second day of the latest candle, still looks like the two prior weeks headed down. Does have a bit of a wick on the bottom, but the price percent oscillator still headed down strongly. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. In fact, the derivative oscillator peaked out all the way back on the 2nd of March for what that is worth. The market, of course, has gone down considerably since then, but we are still in the midst of a down week, particularly as our indicators show it. What do we see going on the two-day chart? Well, it's pushing right up on the two-day trend line, still well below the weekly trend line. Derivative oscillators lost a little bit of energy. Price percent oscillator not headed down at the same steep angle it had been the prior two-day candle, but still down. Now, let's look at the 4-hour chart where you will see the up movement up in the morning and stronger in the afternoon. We see that the derivative oscillator has been in the positive all the way back to when it rotated over on the afternoon candle on Tuesday, the 27th of March. And we've seen the way the 4-hour candle has played, well, the 4-hour price percent oscillator has played around along with the candlesticks and popped over at 4 p.m. going up on Thursday the 29th, which was the last trading day of last week because of Good Friday being off, and then rotated back over on the morning of Monday the 2nd, and then up a little bit on Tuesday, and again, looks like it could be crossing over going up, but that has not happened yet. We'll continue to keep our eye on things again on that 4-hour chart, still nicely below the two-day trend lines and well below the weekly. So we'll continue to keep our eye on things. Remember, we do have both the weekly and the two-day in confirmed down moves. That's where we are on the S&P 500. Let's keep moving through. What do we see going on the Qs? Well, we're going into the third week there also of down movement. Price percent oscillator headed down strongly. Derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. So again, that looks good for continued down movement on the Qs. It was up for the day 1.13%. We'll see that as we delve a little more into things. We see that the derivative oscillator continuing to move down on the Qs on the two-day chart, price percent oscillator, and the candle still moving. Price movement below the two-day trend line, sailing along quite nicely. So far, we have 4 candles moving down, well below the weekly. And as we take a glance at that 4-hour chart, we can see the up movement more in the morning and then sort of a spinning top doji in the afternoon, meaning indecision. So again, sideways slide, if anything. Derivative oscillator still negative. Price percent oscillator still negative. Price movement on that 4-hour chart well below the two-day. And the weekly, we'll continue to keep our eye on things as the market absorbs the losses, strong losses at the beginning of the week, and we'll see how that continues to play out. What's going on the weekly chart? We go to bonds. Well, bonds, again, are going into their 4th week of up movement. Derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. And the price percent oscillator, of course, crossed over going up at the end of the prior week on Thursday, the 29th of March. And again, so far things are shaping up for an up week. Price movement on the weekly chart is above the two-day trend line. Don't have a weekly trend line yet because we just had a weekly change. What do we see on the two-day chart? Well, two-day chart showed us 4 candles of strong up movement. The first day of this latest candle, some downward movement. Price percent oscillator still headed up, but again, shaved off a little bit of that angle, and the derivative oscillators lost some upward momentum. We have a red spinning top, which means some indecision tending down. We look at that 4-hour chart, and of course, we had a crossover going down at the end of the day because of that strong down movement in the morning and afternoon, and of course, some down movement on Monday morning. We did have a peak on Monday afternoon. And we do have a crossover on the derivative oscillator and the price percent oscillator, so we'll keep our eyes on those things. Again, price movement still above the 2-day trend line. If we penetrate that tomorrow, there'll be some warning bells going off. But again, our bigger charts are strong. That's where we are on TLT. Let's look at gold. Okay, gold still in a confirmed down move on gold. On that weekly chart, we see that price movement is moved below the 2-day trend line on the weekly chart. We have the derivative oscillator still negative. Price percent oscillator still negative. Just can't cross over going up on gold on that weekly chart. 2-day chart has been bouncing all around on the red signal line, headed back down toward it again. Derivative oscillator still positive. Price percent oscillator could be getting ready to cross over going down. Of course, we see on the first day of this latest 2-day candle a strong red down candle blowing through the 2-day trend line. And as we look at the 4-hour chart, we see that strong down movement was in the morning, followed by some more in the afternoon. And the 4-hour chart still in a confirmed down move on gold. So we'll continue to keep our eye on gold, see how things shape up, and if and when this 4-hour chart will start working again in gold, if it'll work well again. Has been sort of not just been consistent over the last several weeks. We will keep you posted. That's where we are as we end the day on Tuesday and go into Wednesday, the 4th of April. Hope you are enjoying things as we continue to move into spring. Of course, out of the fall-winter trading zone where things are so much more beautiful. We have all that volume and strong movements in one direction or the other that are so much easier to track in stocks, bonds, and typically gold. But we'll deal with what the cards are given out to us in what order. And that's, again, what we do here. We follow trends. We don't try to guess what's happening. We let the trends tell us what's happening, and we ride those trends. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.